I'm gonna show you how to keep your sneakers organized. One of the most difficult things about being a reseller is staying organized. Your inventory should be your main focus, and although what I'm about to share with you is super simple, it's really important. My inventory is not huge, but it's big enough for me to lose track of some pairs. I'm gonna share with you guys what helps me stay organized, keep track of my sales, keep track of my inventory in a manageable way that doesn't waste a lot of time. First things first, start a spreadsheet. This is the most time-consuming part, but it's really necessary. Go through all of your pairs. Keep the spreadsheet as simple as possible and easy to read. I list the shoe name, for example, Air Jordan Retro 1 Shadow, Yeezy 350 Onyx. My next column over is the size. If I have multiples of a shoe, I'll give them their own row. This will come into play later. And last but not least, I try to peg each specific shoe with a market value at that time. If you keep track of the current market value, you can mark that down on your list, refer back to it later, and see if your shoes have declined in value or raised in value. Putting the price down on this spreadsheet will also help you keep track of your sales and know what you're asking for each pair of shoes from a specific buyer. Plus, this also gives you a great idea of what your current inventory is worth, whether you're ready to sell or not. This will also help you pinpoint certain pairs that you think have matured enough to sell. If you buy and sell a lot of holds, this helps a lot. I like to sort my spreadsheet and order by size. It's easy to keep track of, easy to scroll through and find what you're looking for. Whenever I make a sale, it's as simple as jumping back into that spreadsheet, updating it, or even if you just jot it down on a piece of paper or make a note in your phone and come back to it later. That way you don't find yourself opening your spreadsheet and editing it too often, wasting a lot of time. Just make sure you keep track of it somehow and update it. That way whenever you jump back on your list, you don't think that you have pairs that you really don't, that you've already sold. I'm speaking from experience. There have been times where I went to sell pairs and I go back to my list or I go to my inventory and I'm like, oh shoot, where'd they go? I already sold them. Go through all your pairs, start a spreadsheet, jot down your sales. Keep that spreadsheet updated. The next important part is the storage. You don't need to go get all your clear plastic containers or whatever to keep them stored. Just be smart about the climate that you're putting them in. Just keep them in a safe room temp area and that's good enough. Whether that be a closet, a spare room, stay away from outdoor storage. You do not want your shoes in the elements at all whatsoever. Even garages are kind of sketchy. The floor temperature changes pretty frequently, whether it be wintertime, summertime. If that concrete gets hot and cold, it can cause condensation, and you do not want your shoes to mildew. They'll age, they'll crack, they'll oxidize, yellow much faster. We want to avoid that at all costs. My best advice is to get some cheap flat shelving and move your inventory into a closet or a spare room or some sort of warehouse, depending on how big your inventory is. The purpose of the shelving is to keep as much weight off of your boxes as possible. I keep all of my shoes in their original box, and most boxes can take a lot of stacking, some can't. If you stack one too many boxes on top of each other, you risk damaging those boxes. We all know damaged boxes can hurt the value of a pair of shoes. If you install some shelving and only stack 5 to 10 pairs on each shelf, that relieves the pressure of the stack and lowers your risk of damaging those boxes. Also, this sounds stupid, but whenever you do stack your boxes on the shelves, make sure your box label is facing out. You want to be able to easily scan your sizes, find the shoe, find the colorway, and be able to pull that from your inventory. Again, just like my spreadsheet, I keep my shoes organized by size. I start with the base sizes and I move all the way through the men's sizing. It's easy for me to scan my inventory that way and find what I'm looking for. I can scan one area for base sizes or GS sizes. I can go to my men's section, make my way to my bigger sizes. It also helps to leave a little bit of room for expansion. If you're constantly buying pairs and you're not selling as many at a certain time, you're buying a lot of holds, make sure you give yourself some space on your shelves to store more pairs. There are plenty of apps that you can upload shoes into a closet, and it's easy to keep track of that way. If you plan on selling these apps, that might be an easy way for you to keep track of your inventory. Goat, for example, has an own section where you can upload shoes that you own, and then it's super easy to post them, to list them. I've just always found it easier to keep my own spreadsheet. That way I can track the sales, track the current market value of certain shoes, and add my own little touches. If you own a store or have a massive inventory, chances are you probably don't need my help organizing your shoes. Lots of sneaker stores have a SKU system. They're actually inputting the SKUs of each shoe that they bring into the store that they buy and plan to sell, place on the shelf. Everything in their stockroom is accounted for. It has to be. Way too hard to keep track of an inventory like that by just walking through aisleways and scanning for shoes. My way is very simple and super efficient as long as you stay up to date on your spreadsheet. Like I said, use your notes on your phone, jot down something on a sketch pad, date it even, and then go back and update your spreadsheet. Keep track of your sales. You might need those come tax time, depending on where we're getting tax forms from, whether that be eBay, Goat, StockX. Not 100% sure who all we're going to get tax forms from. Do yourself a favor and keep track of it. Be prepared so that you're not losing more money than you have to. I'm only sharing this because I get a lot of questions about it. This is what helps me. This is also the reason why whenever I get questions about what I have and what size and what's available and what prices, it's super easy for me to get a handle on that. If you keep your spreadsheet updated and you send it to your phone, you're always going to have it on you. If somebody asks me what I have in a size 10, I can pull up my spreadsheet. Boom, right there's the sizes. That's the current market value. Send it their way. I don't have to go back to my inventory, scan for pairs, jot them down, and send them to them. Saves a lot of time. If you guys have any questions at all about how to stay organized, no matter how big your inventory is, drop those in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer each and every single one of those. You can also hit me up on IG. My handle is the same, at AllABSneakers. Don't forget, Yeezy Day is coming up, and I am going to have a release guide ready for you guys soon for the month of August. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button. That way you get notified whenever those videos drop. I appreciate the support. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and do not forget, this is all about sneakers.